Prime Minister, perhaps I'll begin with you. What's the importance of investment in human capital, healthcare and infrastructure in order to ensure that sub-Saharan Africa thrives in a post-COVID world?
Thank you very much. I think that the issue of human capital start to arise when you think about development. And you look around in the world, how people and countries have been able to leapfrog on these 30 or 40 past years. What was what did they use as, main goals? And you realize that when you take a country like Singapore, it's just a rock in the middle of the ocean. And look at how they have turned into one of the biggest economies of the world. What do they have? And you realize that it's just human capital. If you're able to have a good human capital, you're going to have the right people, good education, you can do, any dream is possible. That you bring back, in Africa, and look what has been going on in the past, 40 to 50 years or 60 years that we've been independent. The major issue is human capital, Wherever you've been able to educate your people to have the right leadership, meaning with the right people, then you've been able to achieve great things. So today, when we've worked on what we call our 2030 vision, we went all over the world to see, why do we stand here right now after 50 years and we're not further down the line on the development issue, and realize that, human capital was the biggest challenge that we're facing. And you said it, you put it right. It's a huge opportunity, but it could be also a huge threat if this youth is not educated and if you cannot insert them in a professional life. Then it becomes a threat. Actually, in our situation where the northern part of the country is, we have terrorism going on over there. These kids, if they can't find a job and they get desperate, can just throw themselves in the hands of the terrorists. Or some of them can just throw themselves in the ocean and try to immigrate somewhere. So your biggest asset, which is the one that you're going to use to develop, if you're not able to train them properly and to give them the right job that will help them give the best of themselves, then there's no way you can achieve anything. So yes, we're putting a lot of money in education. We're putting a lot of money in building schools. We're putting a lot of money in paying the salary of the trainers, and all that is a huge investment. Now, to be able to do this huge investment, you need to get money from somewhere, and that's where the private sector comes. If you do not have a huge private sector that can really hire these kids, then you're also in trouble. The administration in my country, for instance, each year 400,000 kids get out of school with or without a degree. The administration can hire only 15,000 of them. The 385,000, where do you put them? In the private sector. Now, if the private sector doesn't grow fast enough, then they are on your hands, and it becomes a very key issue. And the easy way for them to find a job in the private sector is to be very well trained. So, training is the biggest chance, for the private sector to come, because they will find kids that are well trained to grow their business. This private sector will generate revenues for the state, and the state will use this revenue to build school and get education to their kids. It's just the way it works. So wherever you take it, education, mainly for the youth, is the way forward as far as development is concerned.